Welcome back to Freezing Anime Review Part 5. This time I'm discussing episodes 17 and 19 of the Freezing Anime, which covered the Siblings arc, which covers chapters 38 to 50. Not surprising that it took 3 episodes to adapt roughly a 13 chapter arc. It's mostly the same, though I kind of suspected the anime would definitely tone down what happened in this particular arc and how freaking dark this arc is. Oh my gosh. From what I can tell, they actually stuck to it pretty well. Though they did kind of start adapting a little bit of stuff from the next arc, the E Pandora Rebellion arc. They did a little bit at the beginning, but mostly it's all the siblings arc. And they changed the reason why the Katsuma and Satellites are going to visit basically Indonesia. Now, in the manga, the reason why they're there is actually a completely different reason. It's because Katsuma has got nothing to do over the course of, I think it's like winter break. So Satellite's like, go with me. I want you to come with me right now. We're going to my resort. We're spending a week there. Yeah, that's the reason why, and she's not injured like she is in the anime. That's complete made up for the anime. I'm not really sure exactly why they did it for, and for the whole arc, she still has the bandages on her arms. That whole thing is anime original. That never happened in the manga. The stuff with Elizabeth, well, she leaked what happened with the Pandora project to her father, who leaked it to the press. And apparently, the pig-headed person in charge, Mark Stevens, the secretary, was not very happy with it, so he decided to torture her until she nearly broke. Yep. And then she's given back to her limiter. And next time she's seen, she's basically comatose. And she's not active again until the arc that comes right after the next one. Yeah, the E Pandora Rebellion stuff. Oh boy. I'll be looking forward to discussing that. The stuff with the siblings arc, with the exception of basically the reasoning, it's pretty faithful to the source material. They did significantly tone down exactly what happened. Now, the whole interaction between Katsuma and Satellite's sister Violet, that's completely faithful to the manga. Even his interaction with her brother, though they kind of trimmed down the scenes a bit. As for Satellite's alone time with her brother, oh boy, they changed this. You see, in the manga, what happened is that he apparently tied her up. Well, actually, he stripped her top off, basically bound her hands, took off his belt, and he proceeded to whip her with it. Yes. Though in the anime, they changed it to where he apparently gave her hickeys. Or at least basically bite marks on her. Okay, bite marks. I think that's actually better than being whipped with a belt. Yep. Also, they changed what happened between him and his limiter prior to the encounter toward the very end. In the manga, it's very heavily. It seems like he had very rough sex with her, which they kind of showed that in the anime, but they actually stopped once he got into bed with her. He basically basically ripped off her top, took off one of her stockings, and just stopped. They just stopped right there, because I'm sure the anime probably realized, though, yeah, this is not hentai. This is an erotic series, yes, but it's not freaking hentai. We don't need to show a rape scene, which I'm kind of glad the anime didn't do that, because showing what actually happened in the manga in this particular scene, in my opinion, not showing the anime was, in my opinion, a smart move. Because I know that Goblin Slayer got chastised for showing a rape scene in the opening episode. But in the case of this, what they showed here is fine. He's rough with her. His dialogue with her is most the same, where he basically sees her as a replacement. They do kind of take away a lot of her dialogue in this arc. Yes, his Pandora. Lewis is basically his brother's name. In the case of Holly herself, she doesn't do very much in the arc itself, both in the manga and the anime, up until toward the very end where she fights Satellizer. Now, in the manga, because of the fact he admitted he never really loved her, she attempted murder-suicide, though she's saved. In the anime, because he wanted to atone, he tried to commit suicide himself, But it's allowed to say that he wasn't forced into. He wasn't forced to murder-suicide pact. Which, okay, that kind of felt as though that change was okay. I didn't have a real big problem with it at all, so moving on. And they do have a slight change of who goes with Katsuma and Satellites when they go to the airport. In the manga, it was basically Satellite's sister Violet. In the anime, it's Lewis and Holly. Probably because there are more amicable terms now, they're basically not fine. Though, in the case of this arc itself, thanks to Katsuma, yeah, he does admit that he actually loves Satellizer. And that broke her out of her spell, or shell that she was in, and her phobia that she has of fear of being touched has been cured. Yep, it's been confirmed both in the... Basically, it's implied it's like that here in the anime, but in the manga, yeah, it's cured. She's no longer afraid of being touched. Meanwhile, Rena basically calls to Katsuma, "Hey Katsuma, can you come back to Alaska? Something's wrong with Elizabeth." So they fly off, and we finally see Satellizer's father, Howard L. Bridget. He's voiced by the awesome John Sweeney. And from what I can tell, this is his, I think, like his only appearance in the... I don't remember he appeared. I think he does appear later. But here's the thing about this character. Katsuma has never met him. Nope. Despite the fact this will be an interesting meeting if Katsuma ever met what could be his future father-in-law, because Violet herself, her interactions with Katsuma is spot on for the manga, which I appreciate the fact the anime kept all that in. His interactions with Lewis is mostly all there. I think they may have come like a couple of lines of dialogue here and there. But, yeah, I gotta say, for what they adapted for the siblings arc, I think they did a good job. I think that toning down the darkness in this arc was a smart move on the part of the animators, because I'm sure even they realized, though, this arc is just way too dark to be... I mean, not to the point you can't see, because of how violent this arc is. And the fact it shows what... a little bit more of the flashback of Lewis in Satellites when they were children, where he basically treated like a plaything, like a mannequin. That flashback is completely accurate to the manga. Well, somewhat. They did kind of tone it down, which, yeah, that was fine, to say the least. So, in terms of what they adapted, they did a good job with it. I thought it was kind of strange that they had to have a little bit of the Pandora Rebellion arc during the start of this, basically, integrated, which I thought was kind of weird. Though, I think in the part of the animators, I think adapting this after Pandora was kind of a mistake on their part. I mean, why didn't I just start with this arc? That's just my thing. It's just kind of weird they kind of adapt these two arcs out of order. But look if next two arcs are in fact in order. Yes. That's the only criticism I have for this arc, is the fact it's adapted out of order, and basically Satellite's injuries are completely unoriginal. She never had the injuries in the manga. She was perfectly fine. I mean, yeah, she was injured during this arc, but she wasn't injured before the arc. She didn't have bandages in her arms and legs, something that Elizabeth did to her in the previous arc in the anime. Manga, this never happened. Yeah, the fight between the brutalization Elizabeth did to her, that's completely anime original. Yeah. But not much else to say about this arc. It's good. I think the anime did a good job with it. This is one arc I was really looking forward to see if they were going to tone down how this arc was picking the manga, which I'm kind of glad they did. They did make one small change here, because in the manga, it's just a plain empty cliffside. In the anime, they actually put a building there, which, okay, because it's a resort, it's not surprising there's a building there. Now, as for Katsuma meeting up with Satellizer, that's still from the manga, but the thing is, like, basically, what he showed is different. In the anime, it was bite marks. In the manga, it was belt whip lashes on her back, which was not there in the anime. Though she did get a little couple cuts on her back, but it wasn't slashes from a belt. Yeah. So, all in all, good arc. I think the anime did a good job with it. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. My next review, which I think I might get time to do it tonight, because it's only just 3 episodes. So, yeah, there's a slight possibility I could do the arc tonight, no problem. I can do a review for it, and that's going to be discussing the Pandora Rebellion arc. It's only 3 episodes, so it shouldn't take me too long to get through it. Nope. So yes, until you see you on the next video, which will hopefully be over an hour from now, okay? See you there. Bye.